here we go. So surface design tile part 2. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to try and finish up the rest of this tile, and I'll be showing you, you have on the screen here, do you guys want the overhead light off or not? Can you see it okay? No-ish. Riley, why don't you hit the overhead light off? Can everybody still see okay with what they're working on? Yeah? Okay. Are you okay, Daniel? Okay. All right. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start with the wash, and then I'm going to go to glaze, and then I'll go to cold finish, and then I'll kind of show you how I want you to finish everything else up. Okay. So for washes, we have black iron oxide wash. Shake it up really, really good. And then you also have red iron oxide wash. Again, shake that up really, really, really well. Okay, so on your wash tile, you're going to use the red iron and the black iron in the same, you're just going to kind of divide it up. So what you do with the wash is you're going to shake it up really well. You're going to load up a brush, and you're just going to paint it on there. Okay? And it's going to look really, really dark when you first start. Make sure that you clean your brush in between you working with red iron and black iron. Okay? So I've washed my brush out here. You really need to make sure that you keep the black iron oxide shaken or stirred, because the black iron likes, it's heavy, it settles. So make sure that you stir that up. So now I'm going to come in here with the black down at the bottom. Okay, you're going to notice that the red iron oxide is a heck of a lot stronger than the black. So to finish, well, it's kind of a two-parter. Black iron, you don't need to worry about wiping off. You can just leave it there. Red iron, you'll need to take a sponge, get it a little bit wet, and almost kind of like the mishma, you're going to use the sponge to take away the excess red iron oxide. So it's going to give you some dimension. Little bit. Little bit. And you can kind of practice on like lighter spots versus darker spots. Okay, so it should kind of leave you with a nice earthy tone going on there. Okay? All right, so that's it for washes. You don't have to do it above or below. If you want to do side to side, that's fine. Go ahead. Oh, do you have a question for me? What's up? Okay, so oh yeah, because texture is not going to work in there. Just do as much as you can. Yeah, this is the bummer part about ceramics, that when you're gone, yeah. So just do as much as you can on it. Okay. Okay, so I've got washes here. Now I'm going to move on to glaze. Now, there is a whole shelf back there that has a bunch of different glazes. These glazes are Amico brand, and so these are the bottle that they come in. There's other glazes in there that are in short little pints, okay? So it doesn't necessarily matter which ones you grab. And what I'm doing is I'm going to, in kind of multiple places in here, I might want to use this almost as like a test tile and pick different glazes that I want to know how it looks. So you guys might, by the time you're done here, have a glaze here, a different glaze color in your slip, a different glaze color in your carve, and a different glaze color in your texture. Okay, so that's how you can get 4 different glaze looks, okay? So glazes, don't forget, they're gonna look like paint and kind of act like paint, but in the end, they're not paint. I hate it when those guys do that. Okay, so with glazing, you're going to brush it on here, and I got a little bit in the cold finish. Oops. So with glazing, so here's the notes that you can leave yourself. Glazing is you need at least 3 coats. You may do more. And you're going to brush them on in 3 different directions. Vertical, horizontal, and then diagonal. Okay, so that's the notes that you need to leave about glazing. The other thing you need to know about glazing is you cannot put glaze wherever your piece is going to touch the kiln shelf. Okay, so no glaze on the bottom of your pieces. Can anybody remember why you shouldn't do that?
It'll stick.
Yeah, why does it stick?
Oh, it's like glass.
Yeah, it turns into, yeah, it melts down into glass. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I put at least 3 layers on here. It's still looking a little thin, so I'm gonna go ahead and add on, maybe another 3 layers. It's gonna kind of depend on your glaze. You might have to put more layers on there. Okay, that looks good to me. Okay, cold finish, we're gonna have to do that at the very, very, very end. So I won't be able to do it today because I have to be completely done firing it because we're using paint on there. Okay, was she even able to get you anything? Yeah, okay. Okay, so next I think I'm gonna come into my texture part here and I'm gonna use a different glaze color. And this one feels brand new, and it is. Made it worse. Uh-oh. Oh. Be careful when you guys go and open up the glazes. A lot of the times they'll have like a protective foil on top, and then you just got to be really careful in pulling those off of there. Oh, see? So maybe I'm going to put the glaze there on the slip since I already drifted on there. So change of plans. Okay, so notes for yourself. On the glaze, 3 or more coats in 3 different directions. Texture, I want you to pick a different color glaze and try it out there. Carving, I want you to pick another color that you want to see how it looks and try it on there. Slip, same thing. So by the time we're done, you should have 4 different glaze colors that you want to see how they look on your tile. Your choice. All right. Okay, so here we go. Get more glaze. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put it in the slip category here. Technically, I could even see how both of these glazes will interact with each other if I want to layer them. So I might do that a little bit. I can bring some of this glaze up to lay on top of the glaze above it, and we'll see if it changes it. Normally it does. Okay, so I'll get my other 2 glaze colors on there either later today or tomorrow. Okay, don't forget 3 layers at least in 3 different directions, and sometimes you kind of want your glaze to dry a little bit before you add on the next color. All right. So there's that. Okay, and then the last way to finish off the sgraffito, the mishma, the underglaze, and the decal is we're gonna put some clear glaze over the tops of those so it'll make it shiny, and you can see how it would look shiny versus not. And I think I'm gonna put some on the wash side too. Okay, this giganto thing here, this is our clear glaze, and it's in a big gallon like this. So when you want to use clear glaze, You guys just need to get like a little container that we've been using for slip. You want to make sure you shake it up carefully. Make sure the lid's on tight first. And then very carefully, you just are going to want to pour some of that in there. And then if you have any left over, you'll pour it back into the gallon. Does everybody understand? Yep, okay. All right, so I'm going to use glaze, clear glaze here to finish up the last of my sections. And I'm not going to use, I'm not going to fully coat on each one because I want to see the difference between how clear changes it. She's not going to be able to do anything for you, honey. Why don't you try and I can give you a mint. Let's do that. Okay, so here's the downside. Look what I did. I contaminated this glaze because the water that I'm using has red iron oxide in it, and so I'm not able to get my brush clean. So now I cannot put that glaze back in the gallon. I just wasted glaze, which is a no-no. So make sure as you work, you have clean water. Okay, someone left a hunk of clay over here. That's a no-go. You're gonna need to get that. Here, Carrie, try this. Try one at a time. See if it gets in. You're welcome. Okay, so I contaminated that glaze, which means I cannot put it back into the gallon, but I can still use it personally for me. So please be more careful, more aware, and better with the materials than I am, okay? So learning experience. Problem is, this brush, let's see, paper towels. Use dry brush, and that'll work better. Okay, clear glaze, here we go. Now, I'm just gonna put clear glaze here on the bottom of my underglaze section, and your ultimate goal is you don't want to see anything underneath it. I'm also going to put it on half of my Sgraffito because I want to see the difference between glazed and not glazed. I'm going to do the same for my decal and wash, so I'm just going to go right here in the middle. Okay, and kind of notice that I'm putting on some layers and then moving on, kind of waiting for it to dry, and then I'm going to come back to it. Okay, last one is going to be my Sgraffito. I'm also going to do just half, or not Sgraffito, but Mishma. Okay, then I'm going to come back and layer them again. Okay, you want to layer up your clear glazed where you can't really see anything underneath it. I mean, if you can a little bit, that's okay. Normally that means it's too thin. So if you do that with regular glazes, all your pieces are going to come out looking like doo-doo because you didn't get enough glaze on them. And they will really look like doo-doo colors. Okay, so we're good there. Thinking this will work here. One more layer here. Don't forget to go in different directions. Whoop. And then here we go. Okay. So, last thing that I would do to finish up this tile is I'm going to go and get 2 more different glaze colors, and like I said, I'll do this later, and I will put them, one in my texture and another color in my carving, so I can start seeing colors that maybe I want to use, okay? All of the clear glaze that I used it in 4 different places. I used it on the underglaze, the decal, well, technically 5 then. Underglaze, decal, washes, Sgraffito, and Mishma. And I tried to just do halvesies so I can see what it's gonna look like with clear glaze and without. Cold is gonna be done the very, very last because we're just using acrylic paint, okay? Does anybody have any questions over this, or do I need to clarify anything for anyone, or are we good? Good? Yeah, okay. So, goal for this is, because I want you to be able to see all of your surface options before you start on those pinch pots. So if we can have these finished, so you'll have everything in here glazed finished except for your cold. And if we can fire them again tomorrow, that would be fabulous. So finish work on your forms today. Then when you come in tomorrow, finish your tiles, and then we can get them in the kiln. So what's tomorrow? Wednesday? So then Thursday, I don't know if they should be cooled down. So then you guys can take a look at it, and then you can have a choice. You're kind of working on 2 projects at one time. So you'd also be working on your forms, your sphere, your cylinder, and your cube. And then on your 3 pinch pots, you're going to pick your top 3 favorite surface design, and you're going to do that on your pinch pots. Okay? Everybody good? Any questions? Negatory. Okay. Dust complete surface tile design part